Welcome back to the deep dive. Personal growth, what's going on in society right now, and even throws in some biohacking insights.
Yeah,
So
fancy stuff.
get ready because we're going deep on what makes Tony tick
Totally.
and what we can learn from his journey.
He's fascinating.
He really is.
I mean, the way he connects psychology with business and then just this energy.
Yeah.
He wants to help people reach their potential, you know?
Oh, yeah, and that comes through right away.
He does.
He's all about the power of identity.
Yeah.
You know how we see ourselves?
Absolutely.
It's powerful stuff, and he argues that we often hold ourselves back
Oh, yeah.
without realizing it by clinging to old identities.
Sometimes negative ones.
Yeah.
It's like we're trapped
Yeah.
by these invisible chains like the elephant Tony always talks about.
Right.
Remember? The one tied to a stake as a baby.
Yeah.
Never realizes it could break free as an adult. It's the same with us. We have these elephant chains, too.
Yeah.
These limiting beliefs.
They really hold us back.
They do.
Even if they're not true.
Exactly.
Like maybe you think you're not creative enough to start a business?
Right. Or too old to learn something new.
It's powerful stuff.
It is.
That analogy
Really makes you think.
makes you think about those beliefs holding you back.
Definitely.
And speaking of breaking free,
Oh, yeah.
Tony also talks about conquering fear.
That's a big one for him.
He says that facing our fears, even in small ways,
Can be empowering.
yeah?
Leads to growth.
I love the story he tells about running 16 miles as a teenager
Oh, yeah.
because there was a bus strike and no way to get home.
He was determined.
He was.
What's interesting is he credits that to a book he read.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was it?
The Magic of Believing.
Huh. I've never heard of that.
It taught him how to mentally prepare for that challenge.
Interesting.
It wasn't just about saying affirmations.
So what was it about?
It was about embodying the belief, you know?
Oh, okay.
Using his voice, his body, his emotions
Wow.
to convince himself he could do it.
Really powerful stuff.
Yeah. And he still uses that technique today.
Makes you wonder how much potential we're all missing out on.
Oh, I think a lot.
And you know, Tony emphasizes that having a hunger for something more,
Yeah, that's
it's essential for growth, he says.
makes sense.
Personal, professional, even spiritual.
That hunger drives us, you know.
Yeah, it pushes us beyond our comfort zones.
It does.
It makes us reach for more.
Makes it better.
But knowledge alone isn't enough, is it?
No, it's not.
Tony's all about action.
He is.
He uses that analogy about athletes, you know?
Right?
They get rewarded in public for all that behind-the-scenes work.
Exactly.
It's about actually doing something.
It is.
Not just knowing stuff.
We can read all the books in the world,
Right.
but if we don't do anything with that knowledge...
What's the point?
Exactly.
So think about your goals.
Yeah.
What's one thing you can do today?
Right now, even.
Yeah, to get closer to them.
It's a good question.
We should all ask ourselves that.
We should.
And on a bigger scale,
Yeah.
Tony talks about societal trends,
Mm-hmm.
how they affect our mindsets.
It's all connected.
He sees this new optimism in America.
Does he?
He does.
Interesting.
He says there's this desire for change.
I wonder if that's true.
He thinks so.
Interesting.
And he talks about the importance of having a vision for the future.
Oh, yeah?
Something he thinks has been missing lately.
Makes you think
It does.
how personal growth
Yeah,
and societal progress are connected.
absolutely. And we can all play a part.
We can.
Now let's switch gears a bit.
Okay.
Let's talk about Tony's approach to health
Oh, yeah.
and biohacking.
He's all about that.
He has really embraced it,
He is.
using technology and lifestyle changes to optimize his body and mind.
It's fascinating.
He's even experimented with cutting-edge therapies like stem cells.
He has. Tell me about that.
Well, he had a torn rotator cuff. Yeah, it can take a long time to heal conventionally.
It can.
So he decided to try stem cell therapy in Panama because it wasn't readily available in the U.S. at the time.
Interesting.
And the results were incredible.
Really?
He made a complete recovery in just a few days.
Wow. That's amazing.
It really shows the potential of regenerative medicine.
It does.
You know, pushing the boundaries of what's possible in healthcare.
It's like something out of the future.
It is. And speaking of pushing boundaries,
Oh, yeah.
Tony is all about high energy for peak performance.
That's his thing.
He has boundless energy himself,
It seems like it.
and he maintains it through physical and mental practices.
Like what?
Well, he has a morning routine he calls priming.
Priming.
Yeah, and he does cold water immersion.
Oh, wow.
He's constantly optimizing his mind and body for maximum output.
He's intense.
He is.
But effective.
Yeah, he encourages others to explore these techniques, too.
I might have to try that priming thing.
It sounds interesting.
It does.
Now, this is where things get really interesting.
Okay, I'm listening.
Tony breaks down personal transformation into 5 parts.
5 parts.
Yeah, he calls it the chemistry of transformation.
Interesting.
It's a framework for understanding our own journeys.
Okay, tell me more.
Well, it starts with satiation.
Satiation.
Yeah, the idea that even good things, if we experience them for too long,
Yeah,
they eventually lose their appeal.
I can see that.
Like we get used to them and we
Right.
want something more.
Something different.
Exactly. And that leads to the second step,
Oh, wait.
dissatisfaction.
Dissatisfaction.
Yeah, where we start to crave something more.
Makes sense.
We're not content anymore.
Right.
And then the third step is where things really shift,
What's that?
reaching a threshold.
A threshold.
Yeah, it's like a tipping point.
I see.
The pain of staying the same,
Yeah.
it becomes greater than the fear of change.
Powerful.
And we're finally ready to take action.
It all builds up to that.
And that action leads to the fourth step, insight. We
Yeah.
realize we have more control than we thought.
More control over our lives.
Yeah, and we start to see new possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And finally,
This is the 5th step.
yes, the fifth step, opening.
Opening.
It's that leap of faith into the unknown.
Sounds scary.
It can be, but it's also exhilarating.
I bet.
We embrace the uncertainty of change
Right.
and commit to building a better future.
That's the key.
What I find fascinating is that Tony emphasizes this process isn't linear.
What do you mean?
We might cycle through these stages multiple times
I see.
before we achieve lasting transformation.
Makes sense.
It's all about progress, not perfection.
Absolutely.
And what's great about Tony is that he doesn't just talk about these concepts.
Right.
He uses real-life examples.
Yeah, he's a great storyteller.
He is, and it's not just about individual transformation either.
What else is it about?
He connects these ideas to societal trends,
Right.
suggesting we're at a pivotal moment.
Pivotal.
Yeah, where we have the potential to create massive positive change.
I like that.
It's like by understanding these principles of personal growth, we can also contribute to a better world.
That's inspiring.
It is, and that's what makes Tony so compelling.
It is.
He blends these profound insights
Right.
with this contagious energy.
You can't help but get swept up in it.
Exactly, and it makes you want to take action
It does.
to create a better life for yourself and the world around you.
That's a great takeaway.
It is, and that's just the beginning.
Oh, there's more.
So much more.
I can't wait.
Stay tuned, because in part 2,
Yes.
we're going to explore Tony's thoughts on biohacking,
Woo.
regenerative medicine,
Wow.
and the future of healthcare.
This is going to be good.
It is.
I'm ready.
Let's dive in.
So, we left off talking about Tony pushing the limits.
Yeah, pushing the limits of human potential.
Especially when it comes to health.
Right.
And one thing that stood out to me
Yeah.
was his whole biohacking thing.
Oh.
It's not just some trendy word for him.
No.
It's like his whole life.
Yeah, he's taking all this amazing technology and knowledge
Mm-hmm.
and using it to upgrade his own biology.
It's wild.
And it's not just about living longer either.
What is it about then?
It's about living better,
Okay.
having more energy,
Right.
functioning at a higher level.
I like that.
And he ties this back to the idea of taking control of your destiny.
Oh, interesting.
He doesn't just accept the limitations of aging or, conventional medicine.
Right.
He actively looks for ways to optimize his health.
That makes sense.
And he's not afraid to experiment,
Not at all.
like with stem cell therapy.
Yeah, that's still pretty controversial.
It is.
But his experience with it is fascinating.
Tell me about it.
Well, he had that torn rotator cuff.
Right.
And he went all the way to Panama for treatment
He did.
because it wasn't available here in the U.S.
At the time, no.
The fact that he went that far,
Yeah.
it shows how committed he is
It does.
to exploring all avenues for healing.
And the results were amazing.
They were.
Yeah, he claims he made a full recovery
Wow.
in just a few days.
That's incredible.
It is. It really makes you think about the potential of regenerative medicine.
It does.
Changing how we approach healthcare.
It's like he's looking into the future of healthcare,
Right.
where we can regenerate tissues and organs.
And potentially live longer, healthier lives.
That's the goal.
And it's not just science fiction.
No.
These advancements are happening now.
They are.
He even attended a conference on regenerative medicine
Oh, wow.
hosted by the Pope.
Really?
Yeah. It's pretty mind-blowing.
It is.
It shows that these conversations are happening at the highest levels,
I guess so.
and people are recognizing the potential of these therapies.
To transform human health.
Exactly.
It's amazing how he connects all these different things,
I know.
Science, technology, spirituality, personal growth.
It's all part of the same tapestry.
The tapestry of human potential.
Exactly. But he also talks about how frustrating it is,
What's that?
how slow traditional healthcare systems can be
Oh, yeah.
to adopt new treatments.
They can be very slow.
He said it takes an average of 18 years.
18 years.
Yeah, for medical breakthroughs to reach clinical practice.
That's a long time.
It is.
Yeah.
And he's challenging us to be more proactive.
In our own health journey.
Right, not just waiting for the medical establishment to catch up.
But taking charge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he shared a personal story about his father-in-law.
Oh, really?
Yeah, who was physically active and seemingly healthy,
Okay.
but then he had a CCTA test.
The what?
A CCTA test.
Right.
And they found 2 aneurysms.
Oh, wow.
One of them was life-threatening.
That's scary.
It is. And it's a reminder that sometimes we need to be
Yeah.
proactive.
Even when we feel fine.
Exactly. Early detection can be crucial.
It can.
And he's a big advocate for tests like the Grail test.
The Grail test.
Yeah, it can detect over 50 types of cancer
Wow.
in the early stages.
That's amazing.
It's all about being proactive and informed
Right.
rather than waiting for something to go wrong.
I see.
And I think this ties back to his core message of empowerment,
Empowerment. How?
taking control of our health,
Right.
our minds, our emotions, and our lives.
It's all connected.
Absolutely. And this idea of empowerment extends beyond just physical health.
Oh, okay.
He also talks about the power of mindset.
Mindset.
Yeah, and the importance of being positive.
He's all about positivity.
He is, and he backs it up with research.
Like what?
Well, he mentions this Stanford study.
Okay.
They used his Date with Destiny seminar
I've heard of that.
as an intervention for depression.
Interesting.
And the results were amazing.
what happened?
93% of participants
Wow.
reported no symptoms of depression
After the seminar.
after just 6 weeks.
That's incredible.
It is, and a year later,
Yeah.
those positive changes were still there.
That's amazing.
It really shows the power of the mind-body connection
It does.
and how shifting our mindset can impact our emotional well-being.
Makes sense.
And he attributes a lot of this success to physiology.
Physiology.
Yeah, he says our physical state affects our emotional state.
Interesting.
He even says that his high energy movements on stage,
Right.
they trigger this specific championship biochemistry,
What's that?
high testosterone and low cortisol,
Oh, wow.
which creates this focused drive without the stress.
So it's like a biological advantage.
In a way, yeah, and it seems to rub off on his audience too.
Really?
Yeah, it's fascinating.
It is.
It makes you think about how much we can influence our emotions.
Through our physical state.
Exactly, like if we can train ourselves to shift our biochemistry
How would we even do that?
through movement, breath work, cold water immersion, we might have a whole new way to manage our emotions.
That's a cool idea.
It is, and enhance our performance.
I like
It's like unlocking hidden potential
Yeah.
within our own bodies and minds.
That's powerful.
And this potential extends beyond just the individual.
What do you mean?
Tony also talks about collective action
Okay.
and how we can use this potential to create positive change in the world.
Interesting.
He talks about this shift he sees in America.
A shift.
Yeah, a renewed sense of optimism
Mm-hmm.
and a desire for change.
I don't know if I see that.
Well, he does.
Okay.
He acknowledges that not everyone agrees,
Right.
but he suggests that this desire for change,
Yeah.
combined with a clear vision and action,
Could lead to progress.
exactly, and he even compares this societal shift
To what?
to the principles of personal transformation.
Oh, interesting.
It's like he's saying the same principles apply.
To both individuals and society.
Exactly.
That's a cool idea.
It is, and it's empowering.
How so?
It suggests that we're not just passive observers.
Right.
We can actually shape the future.
We can be active participants.
Exactly, and he calls us to action.
A call to action.
Yeah, he encourages us to embrace the hero's journey.
The hero's journey.
Yeah, to step outside our comfort zones,
Wow.
face our fears, and contribute to something bigger than ourselves.
That's a powerful message.
It is, and it's what makes Tony so captivating.
He really is.
He doesn't just talk about these things.
Right.
He lives them.
He embodies them.
Yeah, he lives with a sense of urgency, passion, and purpose.
And it's contagious.
It is. But he also acknowledges the potential downsides
Downsides of what?
of our modern world.
Okay.
He's concerned about our growing dependence on technology
Oh, yeah.
and how it can lead to complacency,
I can see that.
disengagement from real life.
It's easy to get lost in the digital world.
It is. He even mentions the statistic
What is it?
about the increasing number of men
Okay.
living with their parents
Right.
and spending all their time playing video games.
Oh, wow.
It's a bit alarming.
It is.
He's highlighting the allure of instant gratification
Yeah.
and the danger of getting lost in virtual reality.
We need to find a balance.
We do. He believes technology can be a great tool,
It can.
but we need to be mindful of how we use it.
Absolutely.
He urges us to step away from screens.
Down into the real world.
Yeah, and have real experiences.
Connect with people.
Exactly. And it's a powerful message for all of us.
Especially in today's digital age.
It is.
So it's not all about embracing technology.
No, it's about finding a healthy balance.
And making conscious choices.
Exactly. Choices that support our well-being.
Makes sense.
It's a reminder that we have the power to choose how we live our lives,
No matter what.
regardless of the challenges and distractions.
I like that.
It's about taking ownership.
Of our lives.
Exactly.
But, it's important to acknowledge
What's that?
that not everyone agrees with Tony.
Oh, yeah.
He has his critics.
He does.
Some people question his high-energy approach.
Stands out for everyone.
Right. And others think his focus on personal responsibility.
It's too simplistic.
Yeah, especially with all the complex societal issues we face.
It's important to consider different perspectives.
It is.
What resonates with one person might not resonate with another.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it's up to each individual to
Mhm.
decide what they take away from his teachings.
And how they apply it to their own lives.
Exactly. But one thing that really stood out to me
What's that?
was his emphasis on relationships.
Oh, yeah.
He talks about how important it is to have strong connections.
With people who support us.
Yeah, especially in a world that can feel isolating.
It's easy to feel disconnected.
It is.
And he knows a thing or two about relationships.
He does.
He's been married twice
Right.
and has 5 kids.
Including a daughter in her 50s
Wow.
and a toddler.
That's quite a range.
It is, and he stresses the importance of communication,
Oh, yeah.
understanding and adapting to the needs of our loved ones.
It's not always easy.
It's not, but
Right.
it's important.
It is.
And he also talks about setting boundaries.
Boundary.
Yeah, and expectations in relationships.
That makes sense.
He says that healthy relationships require both individuals.
To take responsibility.
Yeah, for their own happiness.
And well-being. That's a good point.
And he acknowledges that no relationship is perfect.
Of course not.
There will be conflicts,
There will.
but he believes the key to navigating them
Here's
is
the
to
part-
approach them with compassion,
Okay.
empathy, and a willingness to compromise.
I can see that.
He encourages us to listen to our loved ones.
Really listen.
Yeah, and validate their feelings
Right.
and find solutions that work for everyone.
Solutions that benefit both parties.
Exactly. And perhaps most importantly,
What's that?
he highlights the power of forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
Yeah, both for ourselves and for others.
That's hard.
It can be, but he believes holding on to resentment and anger,
Yeah.
it can be destructive.
It can.
It poisons our hearts and damages our relationships.
I've seen that happen.
He encourages us to let go of past hurts
Okay.
and focus on building a more positive future together.
It's not easy to let go.
No, it's not, but it's worth it.
I think so too.
And, this idea of letting go of negativity
Yeah.
and focusing on the positive, right, it also applies to our own inner dialogue.
Our self-talk.
Exactly. He talks about being kind to ourselves.
Self-compassion.
Yeah, and accepting ourselves.
Flaws and all.
Exactly. He reminds us that we're all perfectly imperfect
We are.
and that our mistakes are part of learning.
They are.
It's a process. He encourages us to embrace our imperfections,
Okay.
practice self-forgiveness,
Right.
and focus on our strengths and the good things we can do in the world.
That's a great message,
It is a message of self-love and acceptance.
which is so important these days,
It is.
especially with all the pressure to be perfect.
And all the comparison we see online,
It's overwhelming.
it can be. And this ties back to his belief in the power of belief.
Oh, yeah.
He's convinced that our thoughts shape our reality.
I've heard that before.
You have.
It's a powerful idea.
It is, and he says that by being positive and thinking empowering thoughts,
We can overcome anything.
yeah, and achieve amazing things.
I like that.
He emphasizes focusing on what we want, not what we don't want,
That makes sense.
and using tools like affirmations and visualizations.
To program our subconscious mind for success.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He also talks about reframing challenges as opportunities.
Say framing.
Yeah, seeing setbacks as temporary detours.
Oh, I see.
And never giving up on our dreams,
No matter what.
no matter how hard things get.
That's inspiring.
He reminds us that we're more resilient than we think,
We are.
and we all have the strength to overcome adversity.
And come out stronger.
Exactly. And he emphasizes the power of our social circle.
Oh, yeah. The people we surround ourselves with.
Exactly. He believes they have a huge impact on our mindset.
and our ability to succeed.
Right. He encourages us to build relationships with people who lift us up.
People who inspire us.
Yeah, and challenge us to be better.
It's like creating a support system.
Exactly, a positive ecosystem for growth and change.
I like that analogy.
And, this idea of surrounding ourselves with positive influences,
Yeah.
it also applies to leadership
Oh, interesting.
and influence in the world.
How so?
He believes true leadership isn't about power.
But about inspiring others
It's exactly inspiring others to take action.
and contribute their talents.
Right, and he emphasizes leading by example,
Okay.
embodying the values we want to see in the world,
Right.
and inspiring others through our actions and words.
Not just talking the talk, but walking the walk.
Exactly. And he stresses the importance of empathy.
Empathy and leadership.
Yeah, recognizing the needs of others.
When building connections.
Right, and collaboration.
That makes sense.
He believes the best leaders are those who can unite people.
Around a common purpose.
Yeah, and inspire trust and respect.
And create a culture of collaboration and innovation.
Absolutely.
So it's not about personal gain
No, it's about empowering others.
and creating positive change.
Exactly.
And, this idea of empowerment,
Yeah.
it also applies to our relationship with money.
Oh, interesting.
Tony believes financial freedom isn't just about being rich.
Okay.
It's about having the resources to live a meaningful life.
To pursue our passions.
Yeah, to support our families and make a difference.
That's a good point. He emphasizes financial literacy,
Understanding how money works.
right? And developing a sound financial plan.
That aligns with our goals.
Exactly.
And he also talks about taking risks.
Calculated risks.
Right, stepping outside our comfort zone.
And investing in ourselves and our dreams.
That's how we grow.
He believes anyone can achieve financial abundance.
Anyone.
Yeah, anyone who's willing to learn and work hard.
And make smart decisions.
Exactly. And he encourages us to see money as a tool.
A tool for what?
A tool for creating a meaningful life,
Okay.
not just an end in itself.
Right.
He reminds us that true wealth,
Yeah.
it's about more than just money.
What else is it about?
It's about living a life that's rich in love, connection, purpose, and contribution.
That's a beautiful definition of wealth.
It is.
And speaking of purpose and contribution,
Yeah,
Tony is a big believer in lifelong learning.
he is. He's always learning and growing.
And he encourages us to do the same.
To see life as a journey of self-improvement.
That's inspiring.
It is. He emphasizes setting goals.
Having a vision for the future.
Right, and taking action to achieve our dreams.
And developing a growth mindset.
Yeah, believing that we can always learn and improve.
That's so important.
It is. He encourages us to embrace challenges.
To see mistakes as opportunities.
And to never give up.
No matter what.
It's about pushing our limits, expanding our horizons, and striving to be our best.
I love that.
And a big part of this journey
Where it's at.
is mastering communication.
Oh, yeah.
Tony is a master communicator himself.
He is.
He knows how to connect with people
On a deep level.
or inspire them to take action.
He's really good at that.
He is. And he believes effective communication is essential
For what?
for building relationships, achieving goals, and making a difference in the world.
Makes sense.
He emphasizes active listening.
Really paying attention.
Yeah, to both verbal and nonverbal cues,
Mm.
and truly trying to understand the other person's perspective.
That's so important.
It is. He also talks about being clear and concise,
In our communication.
right? Expressing ourselves authentically and with impact.
I like that.
He encourages us to practice our communication skill.
To get better at it.
Yeah, to be more persuasive and build rapport.
It's a valuable skill.
It is. And effective communication is just one piece of the puzzle.
What's another piece?
Time management
Oh, yeah.
and productivity.
Making the most of our time.
Exactly. Tony is incredibly productive.
He is. He manages a huge business.
He travels the world, writes books, gives speeches.
It's amazing how he does it all.
He believes time management is crucial for success.
And for living a balanced life,
Right. He emphasizes setting priorities.
focusing on what's important,
Yeah, and eliminating distractions.
that drain our time and energy
He also talks about routines and systems.
to support our productivity.
Right, and breaking down big tasks into smaller steps.
That makes them less overwhelming.
It does, and using technology to streamline our work.
That could be helpful.
It can be. He encourages us to see time as our most valuable resource
It is.
and to be mindful of how we spend it.
That's a good reminder.
It is. But it's not just about productivity and achievement.
What else is it about?
It's also about taking care of ourselves.
Our well-being.
Exactly. Our physical, mental, and emotional well-being.
That's important.
It is. Tony is incredibly fit and energetic.
He is.
And he believes our physical health is foundational,
To everything else.
right, to our well-being and our ability to live a full life.
That makes sense.
He emphasizes exercise, a healthy diet, and enough sleep.
The basics.
Yeah, but also stress management techniques.
To stay healthy and energetic.
Right. And he talks about having a positive mindset,
Oh, yeah.
practicing gratitude, and surrounding ourselves with supportive people.
To maintain our emotional and mental well-being.
Exactly. He believes our thoughts and emotions impact our physical health.
That's an interesting connection.
He encourages us to see health as a holistic journey.
Holistic.
Yeah, encompassing all aspects of our being.
Okay.
And to prioritize well-being as the foundation for a fulfilling life.
That's a great message.
It is. It's amazing how Tony brings all this together.
No, I know. It's like he's created this whole system for living a better life.
He has physical health, mindset, relationships, purpose.
It's all connected.
It is. It's like a tapestry of human potential.
Exactly.
And he doesn't just talk about it.
Right.
He lives it.
He does. He has this incredible energy.
You know, it's almost superhuman.
He actually talked about that in the interview.
Did he?
Yeah, he said he burns over 11,000 calories
What?
during a day on stage.
Seriously?
Yeah. And he has the muscle mass of an NFL lineman
Get out of here.
and the bone density of a gorilla.
You're kidding?
Nope, he's intense.
He pushes himself to the limit.
He does, physically and mentally.
It's inspiring, but
But what?
we can't all be Tony Robbins.
No, we can't.
We can't all jump around on stage for hours.
Right. Or have gorilla bones.
So how do we apply these principles to our own lives
That's the question, isn't it?
in a way that's realistic and sustainable
Right.
for us normal people?
Well, that's where his insights about managing energy and emotions come in.
Okay.
He emphasizes that we don't have to let external circumstances control how we feel.
We have a choice.
We do.
Oh.
We can create a positive mindset
Ow.
through practices like his priming routine,
Right.
cold water immersion, even the language we use.
It's about being proactive.
It is. He even shared a technique for dealing with overwhelm.
What's that?
He calls it stacking.
Stacking.
Yeah, instead of letting negative experiences pile up,
Okay.
we can focus on the positive ones.
Like what?
Moments of gratitude, love, accomplishment.
Okay.
He believes that by consistently stacking the good,
Yeah.
we can actually change our emotional state
Interesting.
and create a more joyful life.
I like that. It's about taking control of our inner world
Recognizing that we have the power.
to choose our thoughts, feelings, and actions.
That's true.
And one of the things that really stood out to me
Yeah.
was his 5-part chemistry of personal transformation.
Right, that roadmap for change.
Exactly. He starts with satiation.
The idea that we can get tired of even good things.
Yeah, if we experience them for too
We
long,
lose that spark.
and then we start wanting something more.
That's something different.
And that leads to dissatisfaction.
Right, the second step.
And that dissatisfaction can lead to a craving for change.
But change can be scary.
It can, and that's where reaching a threshold comes in,
That tipping point
where the pain of staying the same.
is greater than the fear of change,
And that's when we're finally ready to take action.
which leads to insight.
Oh, fourth step.
We realize we have more control than we thought.
And we see new possibilities.
Exciting.
And finally, we have opening,
That leap of faith
embracing the unknown.
and committing to a better future.
It's a powerful process.
It is.
And what's interesting is that he emphasizes it's not linear.
Right, we might go back and forth
We might cycle through the stages multiple times.
before we achieve lasting change.
It's like a spiral,
We keep moving forward.
even if we take a few steps back sometimes.
Exactly. And with each cycle, we learn and grow
And gain more clarity and resilience.
until we finally reach our goal.
The life we truly desire.
That's the journey.
And what's unique about Tony is that he connects personal growth with the bigger picture.
With what's happening in the world.
Exactly. He sees the connection between the two.
He's interested in how technology is changing us.
He sees both the potential and the risks.
The potential for connection and the risk of isolation.
Right. He even talked about those young men.
Spending all their time gaming.
Yeah, withdrawing from society.
That's a real problem.
It is. And it's a reminder to be mindful of our technology use.
To make conscious choices.
And Tony challenges us to be more than just consumers.
To be active participants.
To embrace the hero's journey.
To face our fears and make a difference.
Exactly. And what I find so inspiring about him
That.
is his belief in human potential.
He really believes in us,
He believes we're all capable of greatness,
no matter what.
no matter our past or our circumstances.
It's a powerful message,
It is a message of hope and possibility.
and it's especially important now.
With all the challenges we're facing.
It can feel overwhelming.
It can, but Tony reminds us that we have the power to choose our response
To focus on what we can control,
and to take action to create a better future.
for ourselves and for the world.
And that's what makes him so compelling.
He inspires us to believe in ourselves,
And to step into our power
to embrace our inner hero.
and make a positive impact.
That's a great message to end on.
It is. So, what resonated most with you from this deep dive into Tony Robbins' world?
You know what really struck me was his optimism, his unwavering belief that we can achieve anything.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that we all have that potential inside us.
We do. It's just a matter of tapping into it.
Exactly. So what about you? What resonated most with you?
Honestly, it was his emphasis on taking action.
Yeah,
It's easy to get caught up in thinking and planning.
but we need to actually do something.
Exactly. That's where the real magic happens.
I agree.
So keep that in mind as you move forward.
Okay.
This deep dive gave you a lot to think about.
It did.
But remember, the real work starts now.
Now.
Yeah. When you take these insights and translate them into action,
I'm ready.
go out there and create the life you truly desire.
I will.
That's what Tony would want.
He would.
And that's what we want for you, too.
Thanks for this deep dive.
It was my pleasure.
Until next time.
See you then.